system is the interconnected sum of all of the actors engaged in the production, processing, transportation, distribution, retailing, consumption, and waste management of food and food production. From the ground to your fork, from the producer to the consumer, getting food to you is complex. We will highlight how that happens with some real-life examples and encourage you to think about your own personal values and ways that you connect to the food system. So you've had a really interesting academic career, and I just wondered if you could start out by talking about that, talking about kind of your academic journey with working in the food system.
Yeah, I've had my entire life dedicated to thinking about food systems, and that was part of my growing up. So I grew up in Argentina. My family has farmed there, and in terms of food systems, and our farm was a very mixed production system. So we had corn, soybean, cattle, chickens. We had a big garden. My academic career started there. I always wanted to be involved into how we're going to grow food. I was interested in that. So I guess I had it. You know, my grandmother would cook everything from scratch. That's what we ate. Seasonal things. I learned a lot from her. But I think that's what my decision was to study. I was in Argentina studying a career in agronomy, so I have an agronomy degree, and I in the regions of Argentina, which is called the prairies of Argentina, which is the pampas of Argentina. When I finished my degree, I worked for a large co-op, basically supporting farmers that they were doing this mixed production systems that mostly beef cattle, corn, soybean, wheat. Wheat is a very important crop there. So I learned a lot. I learned a lot from farmers, from the things that we're doing. I think what is interesting is to see, firsthand, and when we start talking about sustainability or alternative things to production, how do we think about sustaining the way that we produce in time? And I learned a lot firsthand from different practices that we adopted. And one of the first things I remember being an agronomist for this co-op was introducing no-till, right? Soil erosion at that point, this is 30 years ago, was a big issue. So we worked with the extension service down there to bring no-till, and that meant having the co-op purchase this no-till planter, the first one in the area, and I was going around different fields planting sections for farmers to learn how to use no-till. Now, 90% of that area is no-till. So it's one of those things, right? An erosion that 30 years ago was an issue for sustainability, a very basic issue, now is really, I don't want to say resolved, but definitely addressed.
I think in the crop production system, the specificity of the genetics is, again, something that is incredible to think we continue to produce, 2 to 3% more per year with less and less inputs. And the seed technologies have become the most mind-boggling science-based evolution of anything we've ever done in the world, the history of the world. Norm Borlaug is often credited with saving 1 billion people, as you know, from the ability to breed wheat and grow more wheat on less land with less disease. And we can now embed nutrients in plants in a way we couldn't before and prevent disease and pest issues in plants in a way that we couldn't before. And again, if I had no agricultural background, I might just say, hey, this hamburger tastes really good. And the hamburger came from what and from where, and the wheat in the bread came from what and from where, and the lettuce was produced where, and the tomato came from where, and the pickles and the ketchup and the mustard and the mayonnaise and the butter used in the bread and the sesame seeds, and all of a sudden it turns out it came from 16 countries. So that all happens without us having to know it ahead of time.
In this module, we gave you a taste of the food system and the many processes involved to get food to your table.